And hello, everybody out there in TV land. I'm Eriq Hochuli. I'm the curator of Foothills Art Center, and I'm here with Charlotte Bassin. And we are going to talk today a little bit about Charlotte's work. Charlotte, I'll just give you the opportunity to introduce yourself to the world and talk a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Great. Yeah, my name is Charlotte Bassin. I am a world map artist, and I make artistic world maps. I've been making them for over 15 years, and they are, excuse me, I've made over 100 of them. I fill them with, I use traditional media, painting, drawing, collage, but I also use all kinds of other things like sticks and rocks and flowers and sea glass, gumballs. I've done a whole bunch of them. And generally they're, actually you can see behind me, if this is being recorded, is the template that I use. I actually take
Oh,
it off of those chains and I bring
uh-huh.
it down like a circle. And so they're 4 feet, almost all of them. I have done some digital ones too, where then it's a little bit different, but I quit my job sort of 3 years ago, quit a full-time job as a graphic designer 3 years ago to pursue being a professional artist and to try to make this happen. And I am a Golden resident, and one of the first people I spoke to when I decided to do this was Hassan from Foothills Art Center, to kind of ask for any sort of advice he had for an emerging artist. And he said, become a member at Foothills Art Center and join Open Studio, which I did right away and never turned back. It's been amazing.
I hope you still feel like that was good advice.
For sure. Absolutely. You can't do this alone. You really need that community,
Yeah,
for sure.
I think there's something really valuable and to the team aspect of Open Studio and how you feel like supported by one another and also encouraged and pushed by one another. I think I've been talking a lot about this with this sports metaphor lately about how making art is kind of a one person gig. It's a one person sport, a solo sport, but there are opportunities for people to find not necessarily like collaborative efforts like, oh, we did this project as a joint team or a pair of artists, but working parallel to one another. And I think that that can be really beneficial, and that's what we're all really hoping to see out of Open Studio. And I'm glad to hear that you guys are finding benefit from it and you feel like that was, those when you made that pivotal decision in your life, that that was good advice.
Yeah, it was. And for sure everything you said, but actually I'm just going to jump in and say that some of the most kind of fun and satisfying times I've had there is when I have done collaborative. It hasn't happened a ton, but I wanted to learn some techniques from another artist, and I brought half the stuff, he brought half the stuff, and then we had everybody in Open Studio participating, and that's really, really cool. It doesn't, I wish it would happen more, and maybe I'd like the idea of collaborative art, and it might be a new idea, but yeah, if anybody, I like it because I just make world maps, but I'll fill them with anything and everything. So
Yeah.
if I collaborate with another artist who's got their own unique technique and we're creating a world map together, it's yeah, it's a new art when you can bring more people into it.
Yeah, having that template. And what's that template made from, by the way, just out of
So
curiosity?
that is, pretty sure it's aluminum. It's like 1/4 inch thick. It's
Oh,
heavy.
who cut that? Do you
Um,
have somebody cut that for you?
so I used to work at Denver Zoo before
Okay.
I became an artist, and
Uh-huh.
they had offsite. Sorry, I've got a kid here.
No, that's fine. I'm petting a dog while like off screen just to keep him from like misbehaving. It happens.
So I worked at Denver Zoo, and they had an offsite workshop where they had a laser cutter and they did a demonstration. And before that, so that was probably about 5 or 6 years ago. Before that, I had cut one out of paper, out of poster board,
Hmm.
and I was using it. And for 10 years, I used this, and it was starting to fall apart. So when I saw the laser cutter and that it could do this.
Hey, yeah.
It was great. And, you know, they just charged me for materials. And I've had so many people now ask for if they can just have one like that made. And I was like, well, I'm sure you can. You got to research it. I don't do it. Actually, I have near an artist who does cut metal. So
yeah,
I might have an in. But yep, I've been using that for years.
That's awesome. Yeah, so that will last you. There's no reason you'll have to replace that anytime soon if it's durable enough.
Good decoration.
Yeah, it's cool. It makes a great backdrop for your studio. That's for sure. It's like where it all comes from. And so I was thinking, like, working within that template, that gives you like a great foothold if you did want to collaborate with anybody. There's like, okay, what are we going to do? This is the avenue, like, and that can kind of guide you guys in a collaborative experience. So that was a perfect introduction. And I think just transitioning, I just want to, you know, more personal level check in with you, how you're doing, given the current situation of the world. And you'll have to excuse my own personal lockdown beard is getting a bit straggly.
Yeah, my husband's.
That's my primary symptom.
You know, it's been an emotional roller coaster for sure. I'm in a good place now. I think I feel like after a few weeks of, we're all starting to feel a little bit more settled in.
Yeah.
I mean, I've kind of seen, read, and heard this idea that we've been grieving over the last couple of weeks of never mind the fear and everything that's kind of going on worldwide, but personally, I had so many art shows canceled, opening receptions canceled.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to, and you know, not to mention salary pay cuts and kids doing remote learning and everything. So just adjusting. I actually have a studio outside my house. This used to be my studio for years, and I was getting a little stir crazy. So I looked for a space outside of the house, and that's where I've been used to working. So 2 weeks ago, this became my studio again, and I just started bringing everything back here.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It's a great space, and you know, motivation to make art has not been easy either.
Yeah.
Open studio is great, and I can make work there among other artists, but otherwise it's generally solitude, silence, actually. And I'm not getting that here. I actually had to ask for it this weekend.
Yeah, well, you've got more people in the house for more hours than you would normally, right? How many children do you have? I'm sorry.
I have two daughters, 9 and 12.
Okay.
Well, spring break last week, they were supposed to be in the Foothills Art Center spring break art camp.
That was a gut punch to close that for us. Yeah.
It was really hard. And actually, he was my teacher at Foothills 12 years ago when I was pregnant with my oldest.
Who was the teacher going to be?
Steve Tracy.
Oh, okay.
And I was pregnant with my oldest. And so I was really excited to kind of have them, you know, to have it come full circle like that.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can get something together. I don't know if there's going to be like another holiday-oriented camp for the kids this year. We don't, not really sure what's going to happen in the future, but I hope that at least next year we could bring Steve back. That would be really great. Everything is just so in flux right now. It's really hard to talk about what could be happening in the future. All my shows are just getting like slowly, incrementally pushed backwards and starting to overlap each other, and it's just annoying not to know. But well, I'm glad to hear that you're still creating and that you have an alternative studio space to come back to. Hey. Aw, that's adorable. That's a genuine moment for our interview,
you know
right
what?
there.
Let me say, they have been amazing.
Yeah.
Really amazing. Like, I think because they fight all the time, but the last couple of weeks, we didn't have to say anything. I think everybody just kind of understands that.
A detente.
I have to share this, and I know it's not art related, but they I said, Mommy, Daddy need a date night. you guys should make us dinner. They'd be like,
Oh,
and
nice.
they set up a restaurant outside with
Get
candles and
out.
flowers. They cooked us dinner, and we didn't. It was amazing. We even gave them a tip, although I had to do the dishes. But
Oh, that's, yeah. Well,
so it's great.
it's a
That's
new
one of my,
world.
yeah. You have to be grateful for the little things.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Yeah, I think anything that's happening in the life of an artist is related to their art, that anything that you can do to get yourself in the right headspace or things that are happening right now. I think there's going to be an awful lot. There's certainly an awful lot of writing and video and media that's happening around what's going on now and being created. So I think it's only a matter of time before there's a deluge of art, that has to do with this event. It might be more retrospective and less about, less being made in the present moment, but I think it all relates. It's all tied in. So on that vein, I'd like to pull up some pieces of yours and talk about them a little bit more.